Hey, Denny, and
exciting.
It's warm in here. We got a full house.
It is warm in here. I apologize for that. It didn't feel too bad a little while ago, but I don't know. When you came in, Gurns, it just heated right up.
Well, I'm going to blame Kyle Stinsrud for everything.
Our executive producer got the night off. Yeah.
Just know that this is Sports Talk Tonight. We are live from the KGVO studios. Remember, we are streaming worldwide on Newstalk.KGVO.com. On the AM dial 1290, on the FM side 98.3, and Hamilton.
Hamilton 12. Whoops. Guess I should turn my microphone up too, huh? Hamilton 1240 KLYQ.
I'm going to write that down, Denny, since 75% of our listeners are from the Hamilton area.
1240. KLYQ.
KLYQ 1240?
Yes, sir.
Hamilton?
Yes.
AM side 1240.
Yeah.
All right.
And KLYQ.com.
Awesome. Follow us on Twitter at Sports Talk Back. Podcast online at newstalkkgvo.com. Our phone number 406-721-1290. Busy weekend in sports, Denny. We're going to get to all that is Grizz. Some controversial stuff going on in the world of sports.
I don't think it was controversial.
No controversy
Not
whatsoever.
one bit. You're outnumbered here, by the way. So,
and I'm not talking NFL, by the way, gentlemen.
Oh, I thought you were already
tennis.
talking
You're
Broncos.
talking about the tennis.
I'm talking tennis.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. I'm talking
I was ready
tennis.
for Broncos Seahawks already.
me
How'd
too.
that game go, by the
Boy,
way,
oh,
Gurns?
I was sitting on that one too. I knew that was coming.
I lost a half hour of work because Guernsey complains too much today. So, other than that, it's great.
And then that voice you hear, that would be Jared Amos from the Grizzly Scholarship Association. And I tell you what, he is in studio, and he's going to talk about the best event in Missoula, as far as I'm concerned, aside from fantasy sports drafts, is the beer and wine deal that's going on in 2 weeks. Jared, tell us all about it.
You bet. Actually, we're under 2 weeks now. Next Friday night, the 21st of September, 7 to 10 p.m. at the Adams Center, the 13th annual Montana Wine and Beer Festival, sponsored by Summit Beverage. It's hard to believe, 13 years already. It's been a great run so far. Only gonna build, and got a great thing going. We dub it, like I said, social event of the year. But over 30 wine and beer vendors. Got some great food vendors as well, and just a fun time had by all.
Now you guys used to have it over there in the Hilton Garden,
Right.
Correct.
but now it is on campus in the field house, and you do just a phenomenal job down on the floor.
Appreciate it. Yeah, the GSA, we do a great job with that. We're probably now 6 or 7 years at the Adams Center, and it's seems like it keeps growing every year. We've had anywhere from 600 to 800 people, variation of that throughout the years, and looking forward to another big crowd this year.
Yeah, I'd love to see some new faces there. Now, describe a little bit what all works, Jared. You got to get your ticket, of course, for $50,
Yep,
21 and over. But you get there, you turn in your ticket, then what can folks expect as they come down the
Turn
stairs?
your ticket, walk down the stairs. You'll receive a complimentary wine glass with the Grizz logo and the Wine and Beer Festival logo on it. And then you basically walk around and sample various wines, beers, food around the entire gym. We set up the entire gym. There's tables. There must be 50 plus tables of food and beverage as well. And we were just talking before we went on the air. Gurn said he got stuck in a corner and really only had 1 or 2 samples of something, but he sure enjoyed it anyways. But the key is to get around the entire place and try something else.
When you're as popular as Guernsey,
it's true.
It gets around very much.
But yeah, some people do. Some people find something they like and will stay in an area. But
they keep coming back to the same sample.
They do exactly. But we're just so excited about this event, and the Summit Beverage has been fantastic for this for us, and they bring some very knowledgeable people that run the booths that can tell people about the wine and the beers and things. So it's a learning experience in itself as well.
I think I might have ticked somebody off last year, so I don't like red wine. Everybody says I'm going to get there, right? You're going to get there. You're going to get to the red.
No, either you are or you aren't.
I'm
What
like,
difference
no,
does it
I'm
make?
not.
Yeah.
I like, my wife the same. We like Sauvignon Blanc from New Zealand.
Can you spell that?
S-A, no.
What's New Zealand?
From the New Zealand region, Marlborough region of New Zealand.
Wine snob.
Well, and I'll tell you why. So we're sampling all this stuff, and I'm talking to the vintner, or whatever the heck you say.
The vendor.
And I say, I hope you don't take this offensive. And, because I can be pretty offensive.
No.
Yeah. And I said, I love your wine. And he goes, well, I said, don't take this wrong because it's sour. The Marlborough region Sauvignon Blancs, it's not a sweet. It's got a sour taste to it, which is what I like. And so I said, I hope I don't offend you because that's what I like about the wine. It's got a sourness to it. Put a couple ice cubes in there and call it good.
I'm learning something new every day.
Did you tell the wine vendor dude you're putting ice cubes?
No,
in?
I didn't say that.
Yeah.
But,
That would be offensive.
Hey, do you mind if I dip a couple Doritos in this? You got class.
Cool Ranch.
Class going.
But no, it is I mean, you catch up with old friends. You see people. I mean, remember all the fundraisers that used to go around town, and they'd have dice games, and they were super fun. And this is a fun event. It's everybody lets their hair down and get an Uber, get a cab.
Yep.
$50 is $50, but it's going to a great cause.
All proceeds go towards our main goal, which is finding money for scholarships for student athletes here at the University of Montana.
And I tell you what, if you can't drink $50 of wine and have $50 of hors d'oeuvres in a couple hours, then you're doing something wrong.
You didn't do it right. 3 hours worth.
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Well, and your strategy, I don't know that you employed a good strategy. You said you kind of got stuck in one place because you're so dang popular, but you got to kind of keep moving because they're not going to pour a lot of whatever you choose, wine and beer. There's a lot of good
great craft beers as well, you bet.
In fact, my friend Steve and I, we went with craft beer theme last year. We didn't worry about the wine. We thought, well, let's just sample a few craft beers this year.
Macaroni and cheese beer?
I guess. Sure. Yeah.
Craft beers is something newer that we've done just in the last probably 4 or 5 years of this event.
Mm-hmm.
From the Okabonga region of New Zealand. I insisted on it. But, I mean, and it's you understand, they're not going to, fill your souvenir glass to the brim.
No, they're all samples.
Nothing there, so you can sample, but then you rinse and so you kind of got to keep
piece of bread.
You can dabble.
Yeah,
you can dabble.
Exactly. You kind of got to keep moving. But last year I won't say I got bogged down. I was just kind of enjoying the craft beer tables instead last year.
But it's a great event, and
you get a booklet too. You get
if you little information guide, so to speak, of all the different wines and beers that we have. So it kind of gives you an idea of. Yeah, find something you like, go out to the stores and get it.
So what I like, too, is there's the buzz around the football game, too, for the next day. And obviously with Dave
Dickinson night
and
or
everything
day or
that goes along.
whatever.
Right, it's Dave weekend.
You said buzz, and I thought you meant like buzz from the wine.
Well, that, too.
Yeah,
it was dual purpose.
No pun intended.
No
right?
pun intended.
Oh, yeah, pun intended there.
Well, Jared, how do you get yourself a ticket?
You bet. Like I said, $50 tickets available at the GSA office, which we're located inside the Adams Center. You can call the office, 243-6481. Online, gogriz.com. The M Store downtown is also selling tickets for us this year.
That's right. Yeah.
Like I said, $50, 21 and over. We'll have tickets available at the door, assuming we haven't sold out yet. We encourage people to go ahead and get your tickets early and avoid that problem if we do, because once we do have those tickets sold, we're at capacity and we won't let anybody else in. So we hope to see everybody out there. Again, GSA office at the Adams Center, 243-6481.
Awesome.
And you guys make the Adams Center look very good. I think I might have told this story last year when I was talking about the wine festival, but when it moved over to the Adams Center 6 or 7 years ago, it was kind of a short notice thing. You had
very quick. Yeah.
You had not planned to do it there that year. Well, just because of the way things worked out, they had to have it done. And other than a couple of little spotlight problems where it was right in your face stuff, it was amazing how fast they turned it around and made the Adams Center look, like a place you'd have a wine and beer festival. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And it's only improved from there. So you and the crews that are involved in facilities and everything just do a heck of a job.
We appreciate that.
So, yeah.
I know it's one at a time, but it's a big year because you got the auctions coming up too
exactly,
in a couple of months. Get that on your calendar now. I know you're focused on this one, but that one day before Grizz Cat.
Yeah, we moved the wine festival up maybe about a month this year just to kind of give a little bit of a break in between the wine festival and the auction. But like Riley said, night before Grizz Cat, November 16th is the every 2 years Grizz auction that we do, and that's another big event for us. It's probably our major event and fundraiser for the GSA.
Well, hey, great date night for the wife. If you want to show your lady a good time and get your tickets and get out there next Friday, Beer and Wine Festival.
That's right. We appreciate it. Thanks, guys.
You bet. Jared Amos with the GSA. Thanks for joining us. And Denny, why don't we get to trivia?
Oh, you're anxious to get to trivia. Well, we can do that. Sure. All right. Trivia is brought to you by Fuddruckers and Happy Days Car Wash, world's greatest hamburgers. Whatever you order off the Fuddruckers menu, you get to top it yourself. You tell them what burger you want. You tell them how you want it cooked. They call your name when it's ready, and then you go pile on the toppings at Fuddruckers. And from Brent and the crew at Happy Days Car Wash, a gift card for the Works Car Wash. You want the best car wash in town? Heck, you go to Happy Days Car Wash on Brooks between Pizza Hut and Fairbridge Inn and Suites. So we have a $10 gift certificate from Fuddruckers, and we have a gift card for the Works Car Wash from Happy Days. If you know our trivia, sometimes we accept as many as 3 answers. So don't worry. Our record is 4. I think you remember that.
With an A, B, and a C, yeah.
Yeah.
That's special.
Well, I remember their first. I said, "Do you have an answer for me?" And it was a college related question, and he said UCLA, and that wasn't one of the 3 choices. So
And then whiffed on the other 2.
Wasn't it Pete Ackelstead?
I hope he knows that you said that. Scott Guernsey said that. Pete. Grizz and Riley Corcoran will talk more about the upcoming game, but the Grizz are on their way to Macomb, Illinois this week. Going to play the Leathernecks of Western Illinois. Not many Leathernecks have gone on to successful NFL careers, but one that did and is still on TV today as an NFL commentator. Would that be A, Shannon Sharp, B, Tony Romo, or C, Rodney Harrison? And you know what? I don't think I bothered to give the phone number yet. 721-1290, 721-1290 if you know the answer. A successful Western Illinois alum, had a great NFL career, and is now a TV commentator. Is that A, Shannon Sharp, B, Tony Romo, or C, Rodney Harrison? We need an answer at 721-1290.
Give us a shout. We'll make you a winner. We'll be right back with Sports Talk Tonight.
Something is always new and exciting at the Silvertip Restaurant and Casino. Introducing the all-new full-service Silvertip Liquor Store, now open in the South Hills neighborhood daily from 8 a.m. until 2 a.m. Stop into the Silvertip Restaurant for a hot breakfast special before the Grizz game, then stock up on all your tailgating and post-game party supplies. With an amazing selection of liquor, wine, beer, and mixers at the best prices around, the new Silvertip Liquor Store, conveniently located in the South Hills in the corner of Bancroft and Southwest Higgins, Missoula.
Jerry Wessel's Tire Center in Hamilton is excited to announce their new line of Mazama Tires. Mazama is Les Schwab's very own brand, offering the best weather traction in the industry and economically priced. Ask them about their all-new Mazama Open Range AT all-season tires for your truck and SUV, or the new Mazama Reputation tires for your passenger and crossover vehicles. And it's also the Fall Tire Sale going on now at Jerry Wessel's Tire Center in Hamilton. The largest sale of the year, the Fall Tire Sale, Jerry Wessel's Tire Center, providing you the best tire value promise.
Hi, this is Susie, and I'm the director at the Peak Health and Wellness.
And I'm Jessica, the group fitness manager. Missoula is such a great community, and we love living here.
We love all of our great members and want to thank Missoula for voting the Peak Missoula's choice for health club and workout classes.
We strive hard every day to make the Peak an enjoyable experience. For more information on our membership and classes, visit our website at peakmissoula.com. From all of us at Peak Health and Wellness,
thank you, Missoula, for voting us number 1.
We got a whole lot of Grizz going on. This is Sports Talk Tonight.
We're back. Sports Talk Tonight brought to you in part by the Orange Street Food Farm, locally owned and operated grocery store featuring the freshest fruits and vegetables, fresh meats, and a great beer and wine selection. Some of those will be on display at the Beer and Wine Festival.
That's right, sir.
Friday night.
Yeah.
So, what do we got there, Diddy?
Well, we have a trivia winner. Are you ready?
Always.
It is Mark Grills from Potomac. How you doing tonight, Mark?
Good, and you guys?
Oh, just fine, thank you. Okay, boys, you ready for this? You ready for the small world?
Ready.
While I was getting his mailing address down and everything, Mark told me he is a graduate of Western Illinois. Can you believe that?
We're talking to a leatherneck now.
Is that crazy? Tell us a little bit. What's the school like, Mark?
It's pretty much like here, only it's flat and cornfields, no mountains.
Other than that,
about the same size, 13,000 people.
Right. Okay.
Mark, do you sing karaoke in the Potomac Bar with my friend Snoo?
I haven't for a while, but I know who you're talking about.
One of my best friends from back in the day.
You call him Snoo?
Yeah.
Nick Bakari. I don't know why they call him Snoo, but that's just what they call him.
This world is getting smaller. This studio is getting smaller. Well, Mark, the Grizz are traveling to your old school to take on the Leathernecks. Not many Leathernecks have gone on to successful NFL careers, but one that did and is still on TV today as an NFL commentator is A, Shannon Sharp, B, Tony Romo, or C, Rodney Harrison. What do you think there, Mark Grills?
That would be Rodney Harrison.
Played for Western Illinois from 91 to 93. He is still the team leader in career tackles with 345. Get this one, though. He holds their single game record for tackles with 28.
Wow.
20. What are you the only guy out on the field? Was it 11 on was it an 11 on 1? That's unbelievable. He was drafted by the San Diego Chargers in 94, maybe better known for his days with the New England Patriots, but yeah, safety Rodney Harrison. Great job, Mark. We appreciate you listening. We're going to get your prize package mailed out to you, all right?
Okay, that's great.
Thank you. All right.
You're welcome.
Thanks, Mark.
Mark Grills, Potomac, Montana, our latest winner.
What are the odds of that?
I know, that's crazy.
And the thing that I remember about Rodney Harrison was he was probably the dirtiest player in the NFL when he played.
Whoop. Okay.
Probably hands down.
Oh, he was. And that's a really good trick question, Denny. Usually you make it pretty easy with the answers. I mean, you have to try to miss.
I thought about that.
Tony Romo, I mean, that's big time tricky.
Yeah, and why was that a trick?
Well, Eastern Illinois, and he's also on television.
That's right, Riley Corcoran.
Yeah,
there you go.
I mean,
that's big time.
And Shannon Sharp, just the first name that popped into my head. So
because he's the loudest.
And he's on television.
You're talking about wardrobe or presentation?
Yeah, who knows?
Or both.
Well, hey. We had a pretty decent game on Saturday against the Drake Bulldogs.
Yeah.
Eventually.
I listened to Riley's highlight calls about 1,000 times and was not getting tired of them.
Once again, a tale of two halves.
Wanted to hear Yahtzee Baby over and over again.
Oh, yeah. You'll get that, wowzer.
Yeah. But, it was probably one of those games where a play-by-play announcer comes to life in a second half like that.
Oh.
Because let's face it, many of the 25,000 there were kind of 23,000, whatever it was, were kind of sitting on our hands in that first half.
Yeah, without a doubt. It was a slow start. I think that'd be kind of an understatement. But when the fourth down run by Adam Eastwood just changed everything, and you could probably tell it in the call. It was 4th and 1, and it was kind of a broken play. It was a bad snap. I mean, Drake just gambled, and it just worked out for the Grizz that hole was open. The fact that it busted the game open a little bit, number one. Number two, that was the longest rush by a running back all year. I mean, the previous long was just 5 yards. So, yeah, it was weird how it worked out. You can look at a glass half full.
Always.
Okay, then that approach would be, boy, if this team could put 4 quarters together, watch out. The other part of it is, well, they haven't put a complete game yet. First half the first week, second half the next week. But I think this week when you go on the road, you can't afford a slow start like that. Or a team like Western Illinois that'll be desperate for a win. They'll probably put you behind the 8 ball too much.
In Western Illinois, kind of, I didn't see any of the game they played against Illinois, but they played Illinois. So throw that out the window. And then they came over here in Bozeman and lost to the Cats, a game that we agreed Western Illinois should have probably won by 20. Just a weird, from what I saw, defense they got a couple studs on defense. Overall defense wasn't great. A couple really good skill position guys. A veteran quarterback who played like a freshman
at times
in that first game. So I don't really know what Western Illinois is.
I think that Sean McGuire, the quarterback, was the biggest mystery, because if you talk to anyone in the Missouri Valley, and it's funny, week to week, play-by-play guys actually talk back and forth and just go through it. Now, I've talked to the North Dakota State guy as well as the Northern Iowa guy and asked about Sean McGuire, and everybody in that league thinks he's the real deal, like that he might be the best quarterback in the league, period. But if you just watch the game, their first game over in Bozeman, you wouldn't have thought that was the case. It seemed they kind of handcuffed him in the second half. And Western Illinois, I know Jared and I watched that game together, that they should have been up and put the Cats away before the second half even started. Gave him a little bit of breathing room. Game kind of turned around. So if you look at Western Illinois as a whole, I watched film with Coach Houck this week, and he pulled up a couple throws that McGuire made. He certainly is capable, but the guy that makes their offense go is Steve McShane. That running back, man, he's shifty. He can, they find every single way possible to get him the football. So I think he's got the focus of the Grizzly defense more than anyone else. Yeah. But Western Illinois, maybe the toughest non-conference schedule in the country, at MSU, at Illinois, and then the Grizz. I mean, that's challenging yourselves before you go into conference play, and they open Youngstown State, Illinois State, North Dakota State, South Dakota State. Good luck.
I didn't really look closely into the statistics against Illinois. Illinois, yeah, they're a Big Ten school. Granted, they're quite a ways away from being an elite Big Ten school. That's not a real good program. Final score is 34-14, and they Western Illinois put up some pretty big numbers. But one number that jumped out at me, I think anytime your opponent commits 14 penalties for 145 yards, you're probably going to have a wee bit of an advantage somewhere in the process of that, and that's what Illinois did. It was just an embarrassing statistic.
That's huge. I mean, and that was something, and that's another thing that Coach Houck's been talking about, preaching at practice, that we'll talk about tomorrow on the Coaches Show. Grizz are in the bottom 15 right now in the country as far as penalty yardage, so that they feel that pain as well. Western Illinois and Illinois, that game was actually close until the third quarter, and then a blocked punt totally changed things around. So the Leathernecks were competitive in that one. They had beaten an FBS school the previous 2 years, so they're no slouch, but I think you really can tell when you watch them, and especially in that Cat game, they have a rookie head coach. And Jared Elliott, we'll see how they figure it out, but they've got the pieces in place. I know they have the Grizzlies' attention, and for the people that care out there, the Grizzlies are about a 6-point underdog. So, I mean, usually those guys in Vegas know something, and that just kind of gives you a baseline of where they think this game is. Grizz are a young team going on the road for the first time. That, as you know, Scott, that is something that it's hard to teach that or hard to prepare for it until you actually go to battle with it. Even the seniors, it's a new format of how they're going to go on the road. They're leaving later this year. Schedules are different, so we'll see. I think that's a big advantage for Western Illinois. Not much of an atmosphere. There's a lot of things that can maybe go against the Grizz. I think this will be quite the challenge despite the 0-2 record.
And to your point on that, it doesn't sound like crowd will be one of the factors that'll
No, I don't think so. I mean, the atmosphere in general, the press box, I'm looking forward to that. I've heard it's the smallest press box.
I'm going to be at the press box probably watching the game. That press box.
I bet you'll have a heck of a lot more room than I will. Actually, I'll guarantee you that. I'll send you a picture.
It's Sports Talk tonight with Gerns Riley and Mr. Bedard talking about the Grizz game upcoming and last week against the Drake Bulldogs. And you know what? We are a young squad. I mean, we start more freshmen than seniors, or at least the first game, that's how it went. And it's probably going to bounce back and forth as the season goes on. I do know this, though. Defense wins championships.
Oh, man.
And
take out the penalties and tell me, either one of you guys, if there's any kind of a glaring weakness on the defense. If there is, I guess I've kind of missed it.
You know what I would like? I guess just initial... Because I'm looking, corner play's been good. Safeties haven't really been taken deep too much. They've been come up and
how many big plays have you seen compared to last year?
Taking care of the run well. The linebacker. The one thing that I've noticed is that 4 guys up front haven't been able to put pressure on the quarterback by themselves. You know, there's not that one guy that's gonna. You know, you've had a lot of sacks by linebackers because the defensive line is taking up the attention of the line there, and that's going to happen. But you're eventually going to need to drop back 7 guys and still get pressure on the quarterback.
I think so, and just kind of to echo what Coach Houck has said or hinted at, it is the front 4 finishing off the play. Like, even when they do get pressure, they can't get the quarterback down. And that's probably, to me, that's the only weakness I've seen. This secondary has been such a pleasant surprise. I mean, rewind 6 months ago, we all thought this was the glaring hole. You have 2 converted wide receivers now starting at corner, both having great games. Calhoun in the first one. Nash was a standout on Saturday. The safeties, I mean, Gavin Robertson hits harder than anyone on the team. Robbie Houck has been a great surprise. Sandry is healthy this year. And then you got Reed Miller. Reed Miller off the bench has actually played more plays than those other 3. So it doesn't matter who's starting or not. They really rotate them around. Miller plays all 3 safety positions. I want to ask you your thought on this one, Scott. Just the change in defense just from how they line up, 4-2-5 compared to normal, and how tough maybe that's been for a couple teams to adjust to, because I do think the strength of this defense is more the back end.
You know, that's weird. I think Denny asked me that question.
I did. It's basically a 4-2-5. You got 4 down linemen and only 2 linebackers.
Maybe the 2 best in the league.
Yeah. That doesn't hurt.
It's funny because
it's an interesting alignment to me.
Bus has always Bus has always been that outside linebacker that's been kind of the hybrid in a 4-3 anyways. He's big enough to play backer. He's fast enough to play strong safety. He can cover. And that's kind of what you have with a Sandry and a Robertson. They're both fast enough to play in the secondary, but they're also big enough to come up and help with the run. So I'll take the speed, and you can do the other things as opposed to the other things and not have the speed, if you know what I mean. I mean, you've got guys that can play linebacker, but linebackers can't generally play safeties. So you have more speed out there to get out into the flats, cover receivers, cover tight ends, cover running backs. You're a little bit more diverse, I guess.
How about Kent Bear? I mean, he was a guy that came in and people were thinking, what's going on here? He's been to a lot of different schools. I've been impressed. I'm a huge Kent Bear fan from what I've seen, honestly. I mean, and the way that he can coach these guys up, the players actually embrace him. And there was this kind of maybe narrative around that,
not going to be relate to the younger kids.
Yeah, totally false. Totally false.
You know what? How much respect and love do you have for your grandpa?
Oh, right.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's what it's like Don Reed was when he was the head coach when I was playing. He's as old as my grandpa, and you got the respect and the love, probably. You'd never want to let him down. And you've heard the saying, I've forgotten more than you know.
Yes.
I mean, Kent Bear has been a lot of places. He was the DC at Notre Dame.
He was the interim head coach for a game.
Right?
That's insane.
I mean, that's, and I do not like Notre Dame, but hey. I mean, it's Notre Dame.
Stanford, Arizona State, Cal, UW. I mean, go down the list. 42nd year as a college coach, 9th different school he's been a defensive coordinator at. I see him up in the booth, and it's so relaxed. And I don't want to play the compare game all year long, but this is one glaring point where you have guys coming back to the huddle or just listening to coach on the phone or just whether it's in meetings from day to day throughout the week. This guy knows what he's talking about. Where in the sense maybe last year you liked the coach you were playing for, but experience-wise it just wasn't quite there. And like you were talking about with maybe the respect factor and forgetting more than you've ever learned type deal, Kent Bear's got it. And it's instant respect, and there's total trust with Coach Houck and him, and you can see it. I mean, there should only been 9 points on the board from Drake because of that fake punt.
Oh, yeah.
And then Northern Iowa, say what you want. In the first half, the Grizz have allowed 3 points this year. That tells me teams are prepared.
Yep.
Their defense is prepared.
Well, we're going to get into some more Grizzly stuff in our third segment.
It just rolls along.
It does roll right along. We will be back with more knowledge for you you folk out there on Sports Talk Tonight.
Knowledge is good, Gerns.
Hi, this is Susie, and I'm the director at the Peak Health and Wellness.
And I'm Jessica, the group fitness manager. Missoula is such a great community, and we love living here.
We love all of our great members and want to thank Missoula for voting the Peak Missoula's choice for health club and workout classes.
We strive hard every day to make the Peak an enjoyable experience. For more information on our membership and classes, visit our website at peakmissoula.com. From all of us at Peak Health and Wellness,
thank you, Missoula, for voting us #1.
The Missoula Women's Summit has been rescheduled to Sunday, September 29th of 2019. The Women's Summit includes a continental breakfast, gourmet lunch panel, discussions, workshops, fashion wardrobe sessions, and a book signing by author Beverly Wilmore of Motivating Greatness, Motivating Tips for Daily Greatness. The Missoula Women's Summit is well worth waiting for. Plan to attend and bring your mom, sister, and BFFs. To purchase your tickets, become a sponsor, exhibitor, or for more information, go to onpointeventsandmarketing.com. That's onpointeventsandmarketing.com.
From the flagship station for University of Montana Grizzly football and basketball, this is Sports Talk Tonight.
Back in the studio, Sports Talk Tonight, brought to you in part by Bell McCall Ford. Great selection of new and used cars, trucks, and SUVs. Bell McCall is your locally owned low-cost auto dealer for over 100 years in downtown Hamilton. And by CHS Mountain West Co-op, Western Montana source for Cynics fuel, feed, fertilizer, clothing, and tack for over 75 years. Jared Amos in studio with us from the Grizzly Scholarship Association. Denny Bedard running the board. Riley Corcoran, voice of the Grizz, and me, Mr. Lowly, the Gerns.
Well,
that's all the title we got for you.
Where are you at on the reception or yards list? We got to start. That should be his title. What are you, like ninth, top 10, right?
Hey, I hold one record. Number one, in the book. Look it up.
Blocking for Matt Wells.
Most punts in a season, 1992.
I thought it might be your quarterback rating because you're 1 for 1.
That's true. Dubious.
Yeah.
Dubious.
You and Keenan Curran had the same stat line.
Well, no, Keenan had a touchdown pass.
In 1990,
Gurdon's had it. Oh my God! Here comes the defense. They're going to throw the ball.
In 1994, who led the Grizzlies in rushing in the semifinal game against Youngstown State?
Probably you.
I did not know this till the other day.
Would the run sweep?
Fake punt, 30 yards.
Oh man. Does that say more about that play or the fact that no one else had more than 30 yards?
Well, it should have been 50, but I got caught by this slower white guy.
Oh, I was going to say, did the turf monster get you?
Anyways, I fall every year farther down on the list. That's okay.
Yeah, got that going for you.
Who passed you last year? Who passed you? Was it Keenan?
No. Jamal Jones. Nobody passed last year.
Why did your name come up in the record books when I was doing some prep?
Jamal Jones.
You were practicing.
Mariani.
You were practicing his Hall of Fame nomination.
Right.
For him.
That number. Right. That number one. You know what it was? Jerry passed you receptions. I want to say. Jerry is going to that is one thing that has not been brought to light.
Maybe in a season.
In a season.
Yep.
Louis McGee is going to shatter the school record for receptions.
He should.
He's at 151 right now. He's already 12th. He's only 42 catches away from breaking the all-time record. I mean, he might do it this year.
Until that record changes.
Yes, but after this year and next year, I still think he's got it, no matter what.
I mean,
but yeah,
uncanny.
Mm-hmm.
It's interesting, and that's why we're talking about Jerry Louis McGee and the receivers. Keenan Curran got hurt last game. I don't know what he hurt, but if you were watching, he wasn't even moving his right arm. So it's something to do with that. Hope he gets back, but I tell you what,
we've got the guy. Hopefully he hasn't been brainwashed by the coaches and said, "You will never say anything. You will never say anything."
Oh.
We've got the guy that knows a few things about. A couple of injuries of concern.
I'm not going to ask about injuries, to tell you the truth.
I'm making an observation.
You go ahead.
I said a couple of injuries of concern. I would say Keenan Curran is one of them. And perhaps some on the offensive line would be another
Mr. Meyer
concern.
Mm-hmm.
He observed without asking directly.
There you go. Yes. Cody Meyer, Keenan Curran, both were on the practice field today. So I think that's an encouraging sign. There's nothing too detrimental. I probably will. This is where I'll toe the line. I don't know about this week, and I don't even know if the coaches know about this week. But as far as long-term stuff, I don't think you have to worry about that, which is a really good sign because when they both, well, especially Cody Meyer, when he walked off the field, you're thinking, oh my gosh, season ender type deal. And I'll admit, from the booth, I didn't know Keenan was injured until the second half because he had that false start penalty. And Greg and I were talking because we didn't see.
Did he get yanked?
And I talked to Coach Houck about it, and we were joking. I said, I thought he just got benched, and he goes, well, he did get benched, but then he went into the locker room afterwards. So that was initially it. But I mean, I would say promising sign on both of those guys that they were both on the practice field today and not in a doctor's office instead.
Well, and Cody Meyer's getting hurt.
That scared me more than, Keenan Curran's a talented receiver, but there's probably another 4 or 5 of those guys that you can rely on pretty heavily. You lose your starting center on an already thin, inexperienced line. And it's funny, it kind of goes back to the Adam Eastwood touchdown run. Gerns and I were talking about in the postgame show. It was sort of, the beginning of that play was almost so bad, it was good. Because it threw off the defensive timing, but you did notice that Dalton Snead, the quarterback, he was digging around down by his ankles more than once to catch low snaps, and inexperienced center having to come in.
Eckmeyer's never played center in his life.
That was exactly.
I mean,
first game ever,
and to throw him in there, and with all the calls you have to make, and
exactly
a young, unproven line to begin with, and then and then not only. But our 2 tackles went out, too.
Right. Colin Beaver went out. Colton Kynes missed it. I mean, I don't know. We have to find new words to describe this offensive line because it is so unprecedented. I mean, truly
is good, but that's been overused,
Now, you got 2 guys on the 2 deep that were D linemen last year. You've got 2 freshmen in the 2 deep. And then you got 2 more that are freshmen. You have one that left the team that came back and now a walk-on. You've got Colton Kynes who's starting, and he was a walk-on. I mean, it's unprecedented, seriously, with what you have now for a two deep. And you have to remember situations like Thane Jackson left the team. Dallas Hart was injured in the fall. Those two guys were projected starters. And then you've got potentially an injury to Cody Meyer. I just go down the list. It's unbelievable.
It's a Civil War quilt.
Yeah. Jeez.
Did it surprise you at last week's coaches show? Obviously, that subject came up. And one of the comments that Bobby made during your interview, he said, in time, this offensive line will dominate.
Yes.
And he said it with such conviction. It didn't sound like puffery to me. I mean, he's got a lot of faith in those kids, and if they're a little bit inexperienced and there's going to be some growing pains, as long as you don't get your quarterback crushed, I think the coaching staff can live with that.
Absolutely.
And you don't exactly, you're talking about assistant coaches, you don't exactly have a schmuck for an offensive line coach either. So
Chad Germer's great. And coach, the staff in general likes the guys they have. I mean, let's just go across the board right now. Angel Villanueva is a junior, but besides that, Conlon Beaver, sophomore. Got a lot of potential, left tackle. Colton Kynes, they love. I mean, his frame, 6'8", 275.
Oh, my goodness.
You got him for 4 years.
He's like Scott Gregg.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Except a little bigger.
There you go. Really good comparison. Cole Sane, who's going to enter the two deep this week, probably will see the field. True freshman.
A lot of offers from other bigger schools than us.
Highly touted out of St. John Bosco High School. I mean, the problem is with offensive line, you can't just snap your fingers and they're going to get better. It's going to take time, but you're right, Danny, that they want to work with these guys and build them up. But the fact of the matter is, it's not going to be next week. And I've learned this with Coach, and I respect the fact that why would you keep asking about the offensive line? He's just going to give you the same answer because after 2 games and after what we know, all the fall and all the injuries that go along with it, it is what it is type deal. And these guys are going to get better, but they have to make shift for what they have. Dalton Sneed has averaged over 40 pass attempts a game. They have the best wide receiving core in the FCS, and I think you're just going to have to get used to using your strengths rather than focusing on the offensive line.
Well, like you got to run the ball, but I said, hey, you know what? I like to see the ball in the air myself.
Heck yeah. Well, how about the game 1 against Northern Iowa? How great was that? You need to ice the game, 3 minutes left. Conventional wisdom says, let's run it down to a minute, punt it away, and go with that. Now, 3 straight passes, win the game. I mean, because that's what you got. That's your strength.
Well, and with the hands and the routes that Jerry Louis runs, I mean, he's a Wes Welker. I mean, it's almost like an extended handoff, literally, when you throw the ball to him in the flat or whatever. And that's been said before, but it's kind of true this year.
Big time. I mean, Jerry's going to be a huge weapon. Sammy Akem is someone, too. I'm sure you focused on him in the postgame show, but kind of been waiting for his moment, and the potential is there. You look at him, and you watch him run routes, and you watch him at practice. It's like, man, Sammy's pretty good, but where's the spot for him when you have Jerry, Samori, and Keenan? Well, he got his opportunity. 8 catches, 86 yards, and a touchdown. So, wide receiving core, use your strength all year long. I've got no problem with it whatsoever.
Yeah. And throw a little Cullen Bingham in there, too.
Well, yeah. How did Cullen Bingham not have a catch-all last year? That's amazing to me. I mean, he's a perfect tight end, perfect everything, and I'm glad that he's not a senior either.
Hey, did you get on Egriz? Did you get on Egriz?
I was told that you are Egriz famous.
So
are you really?
So we talked about. I'm not.
In more ways than one.
I'm not. But we were talking. I gave Brent Wahlberg a nice compliment.
You did during the live read for Windermere Real Estate. You plugged, not plugged. You did. You complimented Brent because there's a lot of what do I want to say? A lot of blather maybe, but not with Mr. Wahlberg. He gets to the point and makes good points.
Well,
so you complimented him,
and then the title's Gurns on Egriz.
Oh, you probably looked at that and go, whoa.
And I went. So it says who did this? Everett Grizz. Don't know who it is. Gurns during the pregame show this morning. Gurns. I rarely go on Egriz because it drives me nuts. But I'll say this: Brent Wahlberg is the most well-informed poster on there. 3/4 of the posters don't know what they're talking about. And then
only 3/4.
And then his response is 3/4. Way too generous, Gurns. Way too generous. And then it goes on to some funny things about what I said and people complimenting Brent. And then it gets right into exactly why I hate Egriz, because there's 52 responses. And after about 10 of them, it goes to bashing 2 guys that are comment, and they just start ripping on each other. And it ends in nothing.
That is your perfect egress thread, though.
I was waiting for somebody to start ripping on me, is what I was starting to wait for. But it
now,
didn't.
if that was the case, I'd go on and.
But it didn't happen. But it was kind of reinforced my point.
That is funny.
But Brent Wahlberg is.
Wahlberg knows his stuff,
and you know what? And he does it in a very nonchalant, informative.
That's what it's supposed to be.
He's not picking
right?
on anybody. He's not blasting anybody. He's
Isn't
just
that
doing
what it's supposed to be? I mean,
he's just selling houses, is what he's doing.
I know it. I mean, gosh.
Indeed.
Hey, we're going to take one more break, and we come back. No, we got 2 more breaks, don't we, Denny? But we're going to take one right now, and we'll be back.
Gotta pay the bills, man.
And I've got a little bit of trivia tidbit, and we'll get into some good stuff in the world of sports when we're back after this on Sports Talk Tonight.
For over 30 years, Montana Security has been Missoula's leading home and business security company. Locally owned and operated, Montana Security will design an alarm, security, and monitoring system to fit your needs, including fire, carbon monoxide and smoke detection, keyless access and control, video surveillance, and home audio. Call them at 251-3192 to schedule an appointment and consultation. That's 251-3192. Montana Security, because your family and home deserve the best. Montana Security.
The savings continue during CHS Mountain West Cooperative's September Hot Buy. Proper nutrition is essential to the health of our equine friends, and a variety of factors should be considered when choosing the right feed. CHS Mountain West Cooperative carries top name brands in 30 different feeds. Save this month on the 50-pound bag of Equus Complete Horsepacker pellets, just $12.99. One of the many great savings you'll find when you shop at CHS Mountain West Cooperative in Missoula and Ronan.
Your one-stop ranch and home store, Mountain West Cooperative.
Your furnace is coming out of hibernation, and while it will still take naps through October, don't wait any longer to schedule a tune-up with Air Quality Mechanical. Why? Well, the demand for Air Quality Mechanical's terrific 19-point furnace tune-up is so high, they're already booking appointments into October. You can still get the pre-season price of $119, but you need to call real soon. I think that's your furnace putting on a hot pot of coffee. Air Quality Mechanical, tough enough to drive pink.
You know those times when you need to run out for something, but you're not sure if the store you're going to has what you're looking for? Avoid all that with the new Orange Street Food Farm app and website. You can browse different categories like fresh fruit, beverages, baby care, and pet care to make your shopping trip quick and efficient. Download the Orange Street Food Farm app to stay up to date on weekly specials and savings. Orange Street Food Farm, your locally owned, community-involved neighborhood grocery store.
Thanks for going Grizz with us on Sports Talk Tonight. Want to join in? 721-1290. Back to Gerns, Riley, and Denny.
Sports Talk Tonight, Gerns, Riley, and Denny, brought to you in part, Gerns, by Jerry Wessels Tire Center.
That guy can read a cue card.
Locally owned Les Schwab Tire Center provides the best tire value promise. Visit them online at jerrywesselstirecenter.com. And by the Peak Health and Wellness, with 3 premier facilities in Missoula and a dedicated staff, they can help you achieve and maintain your health and wellness goals. We also have Jared Amos with the GSA in studio with us. We talked about the Montana Wine and Beer Festival, and why don't we give it one more plug there, Jared?
Did you bring any samples, by the way, Jared? So
He's got a couple growlers in his car.
Yeah, that's for later on.
Okay.
Oh, that's after this hard show.
Exactly. Sitting here
working hard.
Working hard. No, September 21st, next Friday night, 7 to 10 p.m. at the Adams Center. Tickets, $50 a piece. You can get those at the GSA office in the Adams Center or calling us 243-6481 or online, gogrizz.com.
Awesome.
Good job, man.
We will be there.
All of us.
Yes, we are looking forward to it.
The 3 amigos.
Sure. Yeah.
Guernsey, I hope you move around a little bit more this year.
Yes, me too.
We'll get more white wines for you.
I had the same problem at the Great Grizz Encounter. And I had good intentions. I was going to go around and visit with some of the vendors. I was going to go see if I could track down Riley somewhere. I mean, I didn't, And to go to the Great Grizz Encounter, which was on the field. It was in Washington Grizzly Stadium this year. Yeah. But meet all the players and, check out the vendors and the new merchandise and what have you. And so we came down. You came down the northwest end zone tunnel. You came down the visiting team tunnel to get into Washington Grizzly Stadium for the Great Grizz Encounter. And we got about as far as the 4-yard line. And then that's when you start, oh, there's Annette and Carl, and oh, there's AJ, and oh, there's. So I only got as far as the 4-yard line. There's Steve and Bernita. They want to take us to dinner, and that was it. That
Bernita?
Bernita, yeah. My friend Steve and Bernita. They are our football reserve seat section chums. So, yeah.
Interesting.
So I got as far as the 4-yard line at the Great Grizzly.
So just mill around.
Yeah, that's
spread yourself thin.
The moral of the story is you got to circulate.
It's like peanut butter. Spread it thin.
You got to circulate, Gurns, because people are dying to talk to you. They're just too shy to come up to you.
Well, yeah. I'm too much of a jerk, obviously.
Legend.
Hey, some tidbits of information that I noticed here in my
fun fact.
In my
Scott
travels.
Guernsey's fun fact.
Wow. Can you name the top 3 profitable college football teams in the nation?
Top 3 profitable college football teams.
Well,
I'm going to say Notre Dame's in there because of their TV contract.
Yeah, I would put Alabama.
Alabama's got to be one there.
I mean,
what was that, Jared?
Alabama's got to be.
All right, so we get Notre Dame, Alabama, and I would go with maybe Michigan or Ohio State.
Michigan's got the Jordan brand. Oregon.
Okay. Enough.
Are we even close?
Number 1 is Texas A&M.
Wow.
They made $107 million. I believe this was in 2017. $107 million. Number 2 is Texas, $87 million, and number 3 is Michigan at $75 million.
Wow. 1 for 3.
Yeah, so that's good.
No Notre Dame. I thought that TV contract was worth that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anybody check out the Sentinel Great Falls High game this last Friday night?
Heard some controversy.
Whoa. Well, I don't even know what the final score was, to be honest with you, but I know Sentinel
Great Falls won.
Sentinel
like
lost
34-30
in overtime.
Yeah, 30. Yeah.
So that's impossible.
Yep. I just thought about that. Maybe 34-31.
But the penalty differential, 27-7.
27 penalties in a
Sentinel High School got
48-minute game.
Wow. That's what I heard.
Oh my gosh.
4 touchdowns called back on Sentinel, taken away.
Let me guess. The game was in Great Falls.
It was in Great Falls.
Yeah.
Surprise. You can't even have that many penalties in a game.
Call Sundberg. He's Mr. Great Falls. 33-30. Okay, I was close. I was off by a
I think Sundberg is Mr. Great Falls Russell, though, and this was Great Falls.
It was. Yeah, so he's probably
Sundberg
all about it.
He'd be on the Guernsey bandwagon.
But he probably knows some of the refs.
He probably does. Anybody see Serena Williams' outburst this weekend at the U.S. Open?
Who didn't?
Just read.
Oh my gosh!
I didn't go back and watch any replays. I thought
I feel so bad for Osaka. Honestly,
the 20-year-old gal that was Serena's, Serena was her ultimate idol.
Right.
That's all she dreamt about, was beating Serena in the U.S. Open, and then she does it.
And she's been close, and it got to the point now where, out of the people that you'd ask, like the question you just asked us, who watched Serena Williams? Well, out of the people that would say yes, I would say over 50% of those people don't know the name of the person that won because of Serena stealing the spotlight.
Yeah. So long story short, you can't get coached from the stands. And you see her coach doing something with his hands. I don't even know that Serena even saw it or watched him, but the umpire, who has been known to be a stickler, kind of a jerk to everybody, men, women, doesn't even matter, penalizes her a point.
A point.
Not like a 15 or a 30.
It's
like
a point. So
point.
it's a
1.1.
First time is a warning. So it's a 3-step process. First time was a warning because she was getting mouthy, I would think. The second time was a violation for looking at her coach or getting coaching. Then the third time was verbal abuse to the chair umpire again. So they went...
No. There was a racket breaking in between.
Racket breaking was one of them, too. So that was the second one. Okay.
When we're talking games, we're talking points are different than
Correct.
games.
But it went warning, point, and then a game. And a game's kind of unprecedented that you would take that away.
So, and she was getting her butt kicked. I mean, she was getting worked. I mean, the best tennis player probably in the history of the game, Serena Williams.
Oh, yeah. There's no probably.
And she goes on this tirade. Her whole basis was that if I was a man, you would not be taking these points away from me, because she said he was a thief for taking a point away. You're a thief, and he takes, whatever. And that's the verbal abuse thing. And her tirade was based on that if I was a man, you wouldn't have done that. And she starts going off on sexism, and she's fighting for every woman in the world and their rights. And she turns this point in tennis into this worldwide whatever. I mean, took it from here to there, all because, and honestly, because she was getting her butt beat.
Do you think it was one of those things that she maybe threw it out there, and then she knew she was getting beat, and so it just started spiraling out of control?
Oh, yeah.
And it was like, okay, well,
she opened the door and she couldn't close it.
Exactly.
And you know what? And there's some validity. Martina Navratilova, she said it too. She goes, yeah, there is people are held to different levels, men and women. Men can get away with some more stuff than women can in the game of tennis, blah, blah, blah. But she said, Serena, not the time or the place she made herself look like an idiot. She took the best moment of this Osaka's life and turned it into just, it was bad.
Osaka was crying when she won.
And you know what didn't help that I thought was extremely tacky too is since when does tennis have hooligans? You might as well go be a soccer crowd in England. I mean, to be booing and treating her like she didn't win it or she did. It was a straight set victory. It was like what 6-3, 6-4,
6-4, 6-3. I think.
Yeah.
It was pretty lopsided.
And give credit to when the booing started, Serena did her best to tell the crowd to pretty much knock it off. I mean, she wasn't mad at Osaka. She just you know what? She was playing badly, and she's done this before. She's done this before when she's getting beat. She kind of, she funnels her anger in a different direction.
But how's a champion going to feel in an individual sport like that when you hear that booing, thinking, who else could it be directed at? You know, I didn't do anything, but I'm getting booed for it.
That was a really bad situation.
That was a bad situation, and it's a mark on Serena's career too.
Did you see the TV ratings, by the way, between the women's final and the men's final? More people watch the women's final than the men's final.
Exactly.
And a lot of that's because the men's final, I don't know why they do this, but they compete with the first week of NFL football, which isn't smart.
That's right. And some golf.
And golf, right.
Yeah. Boy, quarterback situation over in Bozeman. Interesting.
Do they have one?
I don't know. Anderson broke his hand, apparently. Left hand, and he had
left-handed.
Had a cast on, and
I don't think a cast does it justice.
That thing
was not left-handed. He's right-handed.
Oh, I thought he was left-handed.
No, he's right-handed.
Oh, okay. My mistake.
Played some linebacker, played some running back. Their backup quarterback was the wide receiver, Johnson, but they played Rovig.
Was basically third on the depth chart.
I mean, you want to talk about identity crisis? They've got one on offense. Do they have an identity on offense? I don't think so.
I mean, you should have put Anderson on defense to begin with, anyways, and occasionally put him in the backfield. I don't know. It's kind of a train wreck at the moment.
Yeah, and it's coach jibber jabber to say, our whole offense was built and revolves around a running quarterback. Really? Seriously?
My thinking's this.
And he got hurt, and so we can't run our offense because it all...
he was the only option they had.
All offseason long, though, if you're that coaching staff, how did you not see this kind of coming? I mean, they were so eager to get Murray out. And there's, whatever story you want to believe on that one. I think they were okay with Murray being out the door type deal in Bozeman, and now all of a sudden it's
Anderson threw it worse than Murray did.
Oh, without a doubt. I mean, they're basically
and that's hard to do.
It's basically the same offense.
Yeah,
I think.
Yeah, and Coach Choate, get well,
coach. Yeah,
had his appendix burst or something.
Yeah, and that must have been a painful plane ride back.
Yeah,
I think it happened during the game or maybe right before. And he was feeling like that Saturday, and then the funny thing is all the speculation. Oh, he canceled his press conference. He didn't, it just turned out to be that. But yeah, get well. Hopefully he's good to go for their game against Wagner this week out of the Northeast Conference.
One more break, Denny, and we'll be back. Wrap it up on Sports Talk Tonight.
Bell McCall Ford sells the best cars, trucks, and SUVs. Hurry down and get a great deal on these popular trucks and SUVs. Save over $10,000 on selected models. And when the dust is settled with no origination or dock fees and no backroom tactics, you'll save money at Bell McCall Ford. Sales and service at your locally owned Bell McCall Ford, 3rd and Main in Hamilton. serving the Bitterroot Valley for over 100 years. Bell McCall Ford. The fall tire sale is going on now. See the crew at Jerry Russell's Les Schwab Tire Center in Hamilton. The largest sale of the year, the fall tire sale. Some of their most popular tires are on sale, like the Backcountry, the Eclipse, and Road Control. Plus, they have a selection of all-season tires starting at $39.99. They're also excited to introduce the newest premium Mazama Tires, Les Schwab's very own brand of tires. Mazama line offers the best weather traction in the industry. The fall tire sale going on now. Jerry Russell's Tire Center in Hamilton.
When it comes to the success of your small business, you make every dollar count. So what could you do with $10? It may not sound like a lot of money, but it's enough to turn 500 strangers into 500 connections. All it takes is the right business card. Go to Vistaprint.com today and you'll get 500 high-quality custom business cards for only $9.99. You heard right, 500 business cards for $9.99. That's less than 2 cents per card. But don't let the price fool you. Vistaprint uses only carefully selected inks and paper stocks, so your satisfaction is absolutely guaranteed every time for any reason. You'll find dozens of designs that are just right for your business at Vistaprint, and you can add your logo and contact information with just a few clicks. It's never been easier to turn strangers into connections. Just visit Vistaprint and start today because this offer won't last forever. Get your 500 business cards for just $9.99 at Vistaprint.com. Use promo code 8787 at checkout. That's Vistaprint.com, promo code 8787.
And now let's wrap up Sports Talk Tonight on KGVO 98.3 FM and AM 1290, and in Hamilton on 1240 KLYQ.
We're back. Sports Talk Tonight. Gurns, Riley, and Denny with little Jared Amos in studio with us. Just hanging out, chilling like a villain.
Enjoying the show. Live here in the studio. He's our studio audience.
You know, it is 9/11 today.
Yes, sir.
Anniversary of 9/11.
17 years ago.
And just kind of a solemn day and a remembrance of people that perished and people that protect us and all that. So,
good friend of mine, Susan Campbell Renault. Susan organizes and facilitates so many of these kinds of events every year, and she's kind of spearheading the one. There's one going on at the Rose Park, the Rose Memorial Garden over here on Brooks. Starting at 7 o'clock tonight. So, and it'll go till about 8. So if you happen to be driving in that neighborhood, you want to swing by. I think they start over at either the Vietnam or the Korean Memorial, but they make about a 1-hour ceremony event out of it. Lay little flags and stuff. Really nice.
Talk about sacrificing everything. That's
no doubt.
That's sacrifice, Denny and Riley.
Absolutely.
Anyways. So what you guys do over summer break?
A lot of golf.
Do we have time to switch gears really quick, Riley? Not to throw this at you without any prep, but they finally officially announced the Montana Grizzly basketball schedule.
Yeah. Well, I knew it for a couple weeks. So
I know. It was a little cat out of the transparent bag, but still officially announced. And naturally, like a coach does every year, it is going to be the toughest schedule they've ever had.
You're still not going to the Bahamas.
I'm so upset about it. Both years now. My first year, they're in the Virgin Islands over Grizz Cat weekend, and we were at home. Same thing this year. They're going to the Bahamas. I said, Trav, any other game. I mean, I wouldn't miss Grizzly football anyway, but just come on.
Well, the highlights of the schedule. What are the high points?
Mid-major, like teams that are going to win the league. Georgia State out of the Sun Belt. You're going to play Georgia Southern, another good team. UC Irvine, they're going to be picked to win the Big West. South Dakota State's got Mike Daum, who's probably an NBA draft pick. So it's challenging. It doesn't look like it on paper, but it'll get this team ready to go. They're not in Missoula very much.
Instead of playing the UWs and the Oregon, you're playing the
and you're playing Arizona and Creighton. I mean, those are two big ones, but it'll be enough of a challenge, even though it doesn't look the part on paper. I mean, Arizona and Creighton will definitely give you a challenge.
Yeah. Well, great. Riley, first show.
Hey, this is awesome.
All right. We look forward to the rest of the year. Jared Amos, thanks for joining us.
Appreciate you having me, guys.
Yes, sir. Denny, we will see you at 12 o'clock on Saturday.
You got it, Gurns. That's our pregame show at noon from Macomb, Illinois. It'll be the Grizz of Western Illinois. Good night, everybody.
Sports Talk Tonight.
KGVO, Missoula.
AM 1290 and 98.3 FM.
On translator K250 2FP.